It's the
Hi.
man of the hour of the show. Can you focus the camera a little bit? Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. How you been, man? How's
Good,
it
good.
going? What do you think about ASJ going to C2E2 as a vendor and not as a guest?
I find this discussion about vendor versus guests, it's all about the fans and whether someone is a guest or at a vendor booth. That shouldn't diminish their experience. Let's just make that clear. So whether someone's a guest or at a vendor booth, it really doesn't matter.
Well, I think it does matter because when you go there, you want to see a panel, right? You can be like, oh, I want a panel experience with David Yost, Amy Joe, but Austin St. John will not be
I've
on
seen
that
I've seen
panel.
cons where people are at vendor booths and they do the panels. So it's not
So wait. Are you saying you think that ASJ and Amy Joe are going to be on a panel together?
no, what I'm saying is that it's just because you have a vendor booth does not prevent you from doing a panel.
Okay. Will he be doing the panel with Amy Joe Johnson?
I don't know. I don't make the schedule. I don't know. I don't know.
I think that's going to be a no. And salute to my man, Mr. Monster. I see you out here, buddy. Let me get your sound effect going. You know what I'm saying? Where we at? 12 months in the game. So what do you think about everyone it sounds like people are souring on you a little bit, Brent. What do you think about that?
Oh, you're gonna ask about that. Okay. That's expected because when they don't have anything to say,
Ooh.
they don't want to address the argument, then they resort to it's called ad hominem when you resort to character attacks rather than addressing the actual argument. And I feel that's what people are doing. And Francis like mocking how I talk. You just saw it just now. That's part of being participating in social media. That's expected, and that doesn't deter me from coming on here. So she can keep mocking me, and that's fine.
Okay.
And yeah. So
I didn't see her mocking you. Maybe I missed it.
Henry, come on.
Maybe I missed it. I don't
Mocking
know.
how I talk. Come on, Henry. You can laugh it off all you want, but it's fine. It's fine. Next question.
Oh no, she said she wasn't mocking you. She does it with
Oh
everyone
no,
else.
Henry, come on.
All right. The next question was, what do you think about the entire recording of ASJ?
I personally, because it was a phone call, I wouldn't have released it, but I feel like what he said in that recording should be known to the public because what his position on that, people need to know. And I think Jason releasing it, it takes some courage to do that, and I feel like it was a good decision to do that.
What do you think of it? Is it good for ASJ? Bad for ASJ? Do you agree that that I'm a trashy YouTube guy who's stupid for coming at him for ratings?
You're not stupid, Henry. That's absolutely ridiculous. You're very intelligent. You and Francis especially. You guys are very intelligent people, and if he said that you're stupid, I disagree with that, and I do mean that for sure.
Okay, all right. So I'm not stupid according to Brent. But ASJ, these stupid people making stupid attacks. What else did he say towards the end? Do you think we lack wisdom that don't see the value in Hitler shirts?
You specifically, I hate how. I think Jason or Influence Films, his issue is the response, but how ASJ responds, it doesn't change the fact of what was actually said. And I feel like people calling him a Hitler supporter, I feel that's very unfair, and that's the issue. Do I think it's a stupid idea? The shirts, the quotes, I do. I think it's irresponsible, but in terms of him being a Hitler supporter, I think that's totally unfair and wrong to make that assumption based off of his claims.
Wait, so if you want to put Hitler quotes on a T-shirt, that don't mean you're a Hitler supporter? Is that what you're saying? Is that your stance?
It depends on the quote, and we have to see what the quote is. And I know there's always nuance. There's nuance to these type of things. It really depends on the quote. because you could quote me reading Huckleberry Finn, and and how would people react to that if someone wore a T-shirt of a book I read in school, and they said this is a Brent quote? It really depends on the quote.
I don't think there are no Huckleberry Finn quotes. So now you're saying they're good Huckleberry Finn quotes.
I'm not saying that, Henry. What I'm saying is that it depends on the quote and what is quoted before you make an assumption. Now, are there terrible Hitler quotes? Absolutely.
Okay.
But yeah, but there's some quotes that were good and help spreading a message, pushing an agenda, an evil agenda, and it was good as an effective.
There's a question that came in. Brent, did Hitler have any good quotes? Yes or no?
Do I? There were a couple of ones like "Don't compare your to others."
So yes.
There were some good quotes that he said. Unfortunately,
you were wearing on the shirt. You would wear one of those.
No, because I wouldn't wear any quotes in general because I don't want to bring attention to. If I'm wearing a quote of anything, I don't want people reading my shirt while I'm walking down the street. It's just not something that I would ever participate in ever. No.
Okay. Okay. We got another one who said, bring Brent up, then cut the stream. What do you think to people who wanted me to bring you up and then just cut the stream?
They don't want to address what I actually have to say, and they just want to. It's kind of like I don't want to say bullying because I could take it. It's not an issue. It's part of participating in social media. But they don't want to come up here, and when April comes up here, but she's not up here when I'm up here at the same time, and we're not having a dialogue. You have to bring down Frances. She doesn't want to have a dialogue about. She claims that, like Susan, if she wants to talk her issue, if people want to take issue with me, I have my email, my social media page. But when I hold her accountable, she claimed I twisted her words and doesn't want to come up on the same stream again. So that's just another example of people not wanting to address the actual arguments.
Okay, there is a post where you made, and I don't have it up here, but I'm sure you remember it, where you said Walter treated you like a friend. Do you remember this post?
I do not. I don't remember. I mean, it sounds like something I would say, but I don't remember. If you could bring it up, do you have it?
I have it somewhere. It's in my email deep in the game. But do you think Walter considered you his friend?
I don't think so. Like he treated me friendly, but I don't know in terms of like a friend. I don't think so.
Okay. Now, have you seen Walter since all this stuff came out about the tapes and everything?
The tapes? Have I seen Walter?
Yeah, since
challenging my manhood.
Since you challenging my manhood tape came out.
Yeah, I saw him in Pasadena.
Did you ask him? Did he want the tape released?
I did not ask him that, but that doesn't matter, Henry. You know why? Because whether Walter wants nobody asked ASJ, Austin, do you want that recording released? Nobody asked him that question.
So why are you apprehensive on asking Walter if he wants the tape released where Jason asked him, was he challenging his manhood?
Why am I apprehensive? Because let me back up a little bit. So
why won't you ask Walter if he wants the tape released? Because he's seen the video. He knows about the video. He knows everything. He watches the channel.
I shouldn't have to do it. I think Francis should release it because it doesn't matter what I think.
Well, it's not what you think. It's what he thinks. Why don't you figure out what he thinks, considering a tape that he's part of?
Why do I have to ask him? Why is that? How come nobody's asking about Austin? His whole dialogue was just played on your channel, and
what's
nobody
that have to do
Austin.
with you're diverting the conversation?
No, it's absolutely relevant. You claim it's whataboutism, but it's absolutely
you just
relevant.
You just said what about Austin's tape? You just said it, right?
Because whataboutism is when you mention two things that aren't related, but when you're talking about equal treatment, actually what about is an actual a valid argument. Like, why are you not holding Austin to that same standard? Well, you just released what he said, the full recording. You had no issues, but with Walter, it's like I have to ask him for permission.
You have access to him. You're not.
It doesn't matter whether I have access to him, Henry.
You're not asking him for permission. You're asking him, does he want the tape out?
It doesn't matter whether he wants it or not.
Why would it not matter? You wouldn't. You don't think it would matter to him if he wants a tape where he's recorded being out there in the public?
But that same question could be asked about Austin as well. And you don't do that because it's a double standard, Henry.
Brent. Thank you for coming up, man.
Goodbye.
You see, Francis. All right, that's a horrible angle, Francis. Horrible angle.
Oh, I'm typing. I was typing in the thingy.
You see, he was getting a little flustered about the ASJ stuff.
He was flustered, and was he not in the live this whole time?
He was. He's on typing them live, or maybe he was typing out.
Didn't I say that the whole difference is I don't want to release the tape. Walter doesn't want me to release.
See, that's the thing, right? I think if Brent would ask him, Walter would tell him, "Hey, man, I don't want that tape out."
Hell no, exactly.
And that would hurt his feelings.
In the case of Austin, because he's saying that you're having a double standard. No, in the case of Austin's tape, Jason Influence Films, who was part of the conversation, wanted to release it. In this scenario, in Walter's scenario, I don't want to release it. Walter doesn't want me to release it. So that's why you're like, well, ask Walter.
I'm not a part of the conversation. Trust me. If I was there and I recorded that shit, that should have been out.
if both parts of the conversation, of the both people that are remaining people that are part of the conversation don't want it released, then there really isn't like it. It's like you said, go ask Walter if he wants it released. Now, if Jason Influence Films and Austin both didn't want it released, if Influence Films say like, hey Henry, I have this thing that I recorded, I don't want you to release it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have released it.
You wouldn't have released it.
Oh, here's the thing. He already said don't release certain parts of the tape. Like if
exactly,
the tape is, I didn't. I abide by it. But April wanted to come back up because she saw her boy up there.
I heard him say, "Oh, April was up, but she doesn't want to come up when I'm up."
Oh man!
Bring him here. Bring his ass up. At this point,
I'm right here.
Y'all
bring his ass.
Y'all really want this to happen?
He talks a lot of shit.
I'm tired of him saying stuff like that.
All right, you know he's back there just you know you
livid.
Guys. You know
livid back there.
And shout out to my man, The Answer. He said, "Bring me up and I'll debate." You know y'all are giving him what he wants.
I guess.
Y'all gonna give in?
Are we giving him what he wants?
Hell yeah.
He loves it.
He's back there doing push-ups. He's fucking ready for you guys.
He should be glad that we want him up because then people are going to actually want to hear him.
He's doing push-ups. He's doing sit-ups. He's doing jumping jacks back there. He is ready to...
And I'm mad that he said, she's making fun of my voice. Every time I say someone else's voice that's not mine, I'm like, That's I just do that. And not because he sounds like that. I don't think he sounds like that.
Look, before I bring him up, right, I got to keep it civil.
Oh, no, forget it. Then bring me back down.
You guys, I don't want a shouting match. I want everyone to be able to speak their piece. And here's the thing. Y'all are never going to agree on the voice thing. I already know how Brent operates. Okay. So if he thinks you're making fun of his voice and that's the voice that you do,
is that we're never gonna agree because he talks shit about Jason and I'm never gonna agree with him, so it doesn't really matter now.
All right, so are y'all ready for this? This could be fucking World War III. Like y'all think Israel Palestine was some shit. We about to bring up Brent, who was just I don't know why he won't ask Walter. I can't get an answer.
Because he's afraid that he's gonna tell him no.
He doesn't want to lose his friend.
All right, let's. You think we're gonna get a straight answer out of him on that one? All right, y'all ready for this? Are y'all ready? Everyone like the stream.
Is everyone in the stream ready? Do they want it too?
Yeah, they hear.
People want it? Yes or no?
I think I got about 60 people watching.
Wow.
I gotta check like my other channel, but I think it's about 60 people watching. between both channels. All right. Without further ado, I brought them down, but the order told me the union told me to bring them back up.
The order.
They're licking lips. They're licking chops. All right. Big Dog is coming back up to bark, bark. Rawr, 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 rawr.
What Big Dog? We missed him.
All right. Without further ado, we have Brent Pham back in the building after his exit of not wanting to address Walter asking about the tape or not. So what is it that you wanted to convey to Brent Francis as he looks on his face with utter disgust?
Okay. The problem is that
Sit
he
up, Brent.
says
Sit
that
up. Put the camera down so
that
like you're
you
at the
have
bottom. There
a
you go.
double
Perfect.
standard, right?
Yeah.
And it's like what I don't understand what he doesn't comprehend. There are two parties to the Walter situation. Myself, JDF was gone, so there were four. But like JDF is gone, right? So it's either me or him because the fourth party has nothing to do with it. If I don't want to release it, and Walter definitely doesn't want me to release it, then it's not going to be released. Now, in the part of Austin, Jason Influence Films was like, release it. Release this part, this part, this part. So one of the parties did agree that they want it out. So Henry asking Brent, hey, why don't you ask Walter if he wants this released? It's because I don't want it released. It was up to Henry. Henry would have released it a long time ago. Henry has it. Henry has the whole conversation. But if I tell Henry, he respects my decision. I say I don't want it released. And he's telling but I did tell him if Walter says to release it, I will release it today. But Walter's never gonna say to release it. Ever. Ever. He won't. Ever.
So, what do you say to that, Brent?
Well, it doesn't really matter. I think that
It does matter.
Okay, don't interrupt him. Don't interrupt him. Brent, you have
if Austin said no,
you have 2
and
minutes.
Jason
Brent.
said yes, does that matter? Should the recording still be released? If Austin said no, I don't want the recording released. If someone asked him, if I asked him, because I was there at the recording, and most of the recording was released. The full context was released.
Well,
so.
that was
In your conversation, it does not matter because Jason Influence Films did want to release it.
It's his conversation.
It's his conversation, exactly.
It's not my conversation. I'm not in the Walter conversation at all.
And
But I was in the conversation as well.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Because it only requires one, right?
It only requires one person. It's his tape. It's just like if you slide into my DMs and you say, Henry, don't release my DMs. I'm like, well, they're my DMs too. Now, if I have some deference for you, I can do a common courtesy and not release them, which it seems like Jason had no regard for. So it goes back to the original question. Why don't you ask Walter if he wants the tape out? You do not want to. You don't want to bring it up. You're afraid that he's going to look at you differently. Why don't you ask Walter why he wants the tape out? If he wants the tape out, why are you so apprehensive?
I could ask him, yeah. I mean, but
okay,
it really. Okay, we're talking legally now. Legally, yes, Francis or Jason had every right to release the tape. That's not the issue.
Okay, when you ask Walter if he wants the tape out, make sure you record him. Make sure you let him know you're recording him. If you want to be on the up and up, or if you're in a one-party state, you don't even have to let him know. Just record him and say.
We're talking legally speaking. Jason had every right to release that tape. That's not the issue. We're talking legally. But we're talking, but in terms of non-legal, there's a double standard. But legally, Francis is right.
All right, your time is up, Brent.
Okay.
April, you got 2 minutes. What is your issue with Brent?
Well, first of all, you didn't answer the question.
Don't interrupt. Go ahead, April.
They asked, why haven't you asked him yet? You keep hounding Henry and Francis about it again and again and again. But you've never asked Walter about it. Why? Number two, why did you bring my name up? and say, "Oh, April is up, but she won't be up with me." Well, here I am, Brent. What do you have to say to me?
Oh, okay. We're gonna go down. Okay, we're gonna do this. Okay.
All right. You
Um,
still got a minute and 26 seconds left,
Okay,
April,
but
if you want to
but
continue.
does she? Okay, go
No,
ahead.
I'm good. That's all I had to say for
Oh, that's
that.
all you have to
Hear what
say?
you have to say, and then I'll respond.
Go ahead, Brent.
Okay, so she asked me why I asked her to be up here because it seems like whenever I have an antagonist opinion, you time me out, and that's your right to do so. But it seems like you want to push an agenda and just admit it, and you know,
Okay.
So can I
you know,
talk?
Okay. What's the agenda she's trying to push, Brent?
certain opinions aren't allowed.
And what opinions are that? Can you be very specific, please? For the audience.
There's a bunch of them. I don't.
Still got a
Like when I
minute.
talk about when I make the comparison with Walter and Austin, I get timed out, and it's kind of like why it's relevant. It's to the discussion, and I feel like that shouldn't be timed out. If you want to have a discussion, you have to have differing opinions, and you might construe that as antagonistic, but to have a discussion, you have to have varying opinions, and you might not like some of them, but I feel like it should be all out there, and people can make a decision for themselves whether they want to block me. I know there's people like Simply Melissa, all those people, they're blocking me, which is their right. And but for you to time me out, I feel like you shouldn't do that, and I take issue with that. And nothing personal, but it's kind of like you should be more considerate of differing opinions, and that's basically what I have to say about that.
Okay. April, you can respond, and then we'll let Francis chime in. You got 2 minutes, April. Go.
I've told you many times it's not about the opinion. I've never ever said antagonistic opinion. I don't even know what that means. Antagonistic.
Do we have to?
I mean,
I'm
like,
antagonistic.
Let
Yeah.
her
that you're
talk. Let her talk.
antagonistic because I saw the conversation and I kept letting it go on. But the problem is you keep going on and on and on and on and on, and it's like, dude, lay off. Like lay off. Like it gets to the point where it's like it's too much. Like you sound like a troll, and it just comes off as antagonistic. Like it's just like you're not having a discussion anymore. It's one-sided at this point, and it's causing like people to no longer watch the stream anymore. It's taking attention from the actual stream.
But when you have an argument, there's going to be a one side versus the other side. That's the nature of having an argument. I don't know. I think what you're trying to say. I'm making assumptions is that I have to have an opinion, or I have to make it more. That's an opinion that's more towards what everyone else has.
No.
And
No, I don't think you need to have the same opinion as anyone else. I think you need to have when you want to have those type of conversations, take it somewhere else.
Okay.
Are you finished, April?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what I see is happening is, let's just say Brent says the sky is red, April says the sky is blue, and no matter how, they'll keep going back and forth, and maybe April stops saying the sky is blue, and Brent's like, nope, sky is still red, sky is still red, sky is still red, sky is still red. So at this point, when you have this moment in the chat, one of you or both of you say, let's agree to disagree, and then focus on what I'm saying, what's going on in stream, as opposed to having these sidebar conversations that detract from the stream. What do you guys think about that? And then we got to let Francis talk. Would that be a solution for Brent not to get timed out?
Yeah.
Brent, what do you think about that? When someone disagrees with you, let's say you try to convince them, they disagree. You try to convince them, they disagree. At what point do you just say, all right, this person is not going to agree with me?
It should be what I feel should be the case is that it should be ignored naturally without if the conversation stops on the other side, then naturally what I say is going to stop. But if the conversation keeps going one after the other, I feel that it is relevant to what is the topic. Then I feel like it should be allowed, because that's part of having a discussion, a back and forth. But if I say something and someone disagrees, and I say something in response, and it stops, then it's naturally going to stop by itself. And I feel like that's what that's what it should be. Not when I say something someone doesn't like, I get timed out, and it's kind of
Okay.
like
Okay.
it should be a natural progression.
Okay, here's the thing. When this happens, April can say, "Hey guys, can y'all agree to disagree and focus on the stream?" Because I can see where April's coming from. It's like, hey, this is distracting from the stream. When people are reading chat and not, watching the stream, it can be a little bit distracting for the audience. Can April just say, "Hey, can y'all agree to disagree," and then talk about what's on screen, and then you drop it, and then if you keep going, then you get timed out? Would that work for you, April?
Yeah.
Brent, would that work for you, Brent? Her saying, "Hey, can you agree to disagree, or have the conversation off screen"? Would that work for you?
Sure. I mean, if that's how things are going to be, I don't control. This is your channel, Henry, and
yeah, but I'm not. I don't read the chat. I'm sorry, I'm not reading the chat when I'm up here talking.
But Henry, this is your channel, and as you've noticed, you've criticized me. But how come you're more tempered? You're not as opinionated. It's because I've taken notes that when I make an argument and someone doesn't like it, and I keep going back and forth one after the other, I get timed out, because that's not, as April has said, that's not something that.
It's the back and forth.
Back and forth, right?
If someone says the sky is red, someone says the sky is blue, you keep going back and forth. Then
sure, we'll make different arguments. That's part of having a discussion about a discussion about something.
I feel
like that's not that. And if you want to say, if someone wants to say, we'll just agree to disagree, and I'll say, okay, the conversation stops. But if we keep going back and forth and we both entertain those arguments, I feel like that should be, one person shouldn't be timed out while the other person gets to stay on. That's my thing. And
okay.
But if someone says, let's just agree to disagree, and I say, okay, then it just stops naturally. And that's how it should be a natural progression. It shouldn't be, oh, you said something, the JDF or ASH or whatever is.
Well, here's the thing, Brent. Yeah. When it comes to the chat, April, that's April's chat. That's not my chat. That's April's chat.
Okay, she's what I was saying is probably should be addressed to her. So April, I feel like if someone, let's say we're arguing, I don't know, about Sky, Frank, or whatever
Francis, I got you.
No, just use what you were arguing about today.
Oh, about Ashe and the Walter. If we want to talk about the double standards, one person says, Drew, I was going with Drew Danger, I think. He was saying one thing, and then I said another thing. And then he said one thing, and I said another thing. And then I get timed out. And then he gets to say his piece. And then it's kind of like, what is that? Like, we both had an argument. So yet I get timed out, but Drew Danger doesn't. Okay. And I feel like it should be a natural progression. If I say, if Drew Danger, let's just agree to disagree, and then I just keep arguing, then yeah, maybe I should be timed out. But if we're having a dialogue with me and Drew Danger, and only one of us gets timed out, I feel like that shouldn't be the case. We should be encouraging a dialogue, not banning.
We're not encouraging dialogue that distracts from the stream.
And
Drew is participating. If you look at the chat, Drew was participating in that discussion as well, not just me.
Yeah.
So,
but you brought it up.
Okay. April, you got some time, and then we'll let Francis speak. Go ahead, April.
I just feel like, though, Brent, the problem, I don't know how to word this correctly. The problem, though, is that I'll use tonight's example. I feel like you're always trying to tie it back to, here's something wrong with JDF. Like this video, let me tie it back. Okay, well, here, let's talk about the Walter video. I want to see the whole Walter video. Why can we hear this whole audio when we can't hear the whole Walter video, which has
to
be...
Right.
Same thing with
when we talk.
Same thing with you commented on another video about that Henry posted about Sky and how Austin blocks.
Yeah, I saw that shit. I was like,
JDF wanted comments deleted about Sky and Jacob. You brought it back to JDF again.
That was a comment.
Have to do with each other though, because the reason that Jason wanted those deleted was to protect the reputation of his children. Austin's deleting comments to protect his own reputation.
Okay, so let me respond to this.
No.
Oh, okay.
Francis, go ahead. You got 4 minutes. They've been going on for a while. You got 4 minutes. to get
The
your
pro-
get your
I
rocks
don't
off.
think that I don't think that Brent understands, right? What April's coming from, and even what you're coming from, right? And I'm gonna tell you, me as like I've seen Brent go off because I don't. I so at this point I just be ignoring Brent. But when I used to not ignore Brent, right? In the chat, if Henry is talking about when you guys started talking, it was after the whole influence film like Austin thing, right? If we're talking about Austin and the 8 shirts, why are you now then bringing up on chat about the Walter thing when we're not even discussing the Walter thing? The correct thing, I think, the correct like method that you should do is once Henry brings you up, be like, hey Henry, let's go back to the beginning of the stream when you were talking, you release Austin's thing, but yet you don't ask me to release Walter. But the minute you started in the chat, everyone is focusing on what you and whoever you're starting the argument with, that's all they're focusing on. And not what Henry's saying. So it's almost like etiquette. You know what I mean? You have to have that correct etiquette. Like, yes, you can have a different opinion. Because if we were all the same, then we will all be sheep. It would be boring. That's not the issue here. I don't think anyone has an issue with you hating JDF because we know you hate him. We all know you're gonna have always that up. You're always gonna be Austin's savior. That's fine. But it's the fact that you're going back and forth in the comment in the chat, and it's distracting Henry. Because I'm telling you, when I used to read your shit, I used to be like, I wouldn't. At some point, I wouldn't even listen to Henry. I would be saying like, what is Brent saying? Like, oh, what is he talking shit? And then I argue back with you, and then that's back and forth, and then we're distracting everyone because everyone wants to see what you and I are going on about and not listening to Henry. So as a courtesy for Henry, as a courtesy for everyone, you should like either wait until you're up and like if you're gonna forget, write it down and be like, hey, I want to discuss this and blah blah blah. And do it that way instead of doing it in the chat. So I feel like April just times you out because you, to be honest, you're always the one that is arguing with somebody. So it's like, let me take the common denominator out and block them out, time them out so that they don't do that, right? So I don't think it's and you keep and I think that April has tried to explain that. Henry has tried to explain it, and then you go back and say, "Oh no, it's because I have different opinion." It has nothing to do with you having different opinions. We know your opinion at this point. We know your opinion. It's not about that. It's about you
Damrock,
going
I'm
on and
coming.
on and on in the chat. That's
Damrock,
what.
please come back up, please. You're literally about to come up. All right. Let me add Damrock. Let me get in. Let my man get in his 2 minutes. You got 2 minutes, Damrock. What do you want to say to Brent or the panel or anything?
I'm happy to see the wonderful, lovely people. Brent, pretty simple. Do you feel like even in these exchanges in which you feel like you have an antagonistic opinion that isn't appreciated or timed out, do you feel like there is a right and wrong in these exchanges?
A right and wrong? Of course I do.
Okay,
That's why you have
and so I'm assuming that given you express you have an antagonistic opinion that isn't appreciated, you feel like you're being placed in the wrong when you may be feeling like you're in the right.
Oh yeah, I mean I wouldn't word it that way, but yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I would say it's the back and forth that's distracting, and I think
Right.
Francis.
I think that's what if
Francis hit it on the head. If like
April would have said, I don't like the back and forth because it's distracting. That's a different.
I did say that.
she did say that.
Henry
No,
has
you said
said
it
it.
because it's
Henry has said it on the
antagonistic, not
stream.
because you have a differing opinion.
Brent. Look, we trying to have an intervention. That was what she opened with. That's what I was clapping for, because that's what I want my mods to do. If someone is having a conversation that is distracting from the stream, time them out. Hey, let's make sure everyone's talking about what I'm talking about. But if we're reading the Power Rangers MMPR and you're talking about the lack of the Walter tape being out there and the ASJ tape being out there,
happen.
I'm just giving an example. Then hey, everyone should be talking about MMPR. You see how it works? Or if you're like, well, no, I'm still talking about what happened at the end. And Francis brought up a great idea. Wait till you come up to address everything, as opposed to when people move on and the topics move on, still trying to fight in the chat about it. And that's the time. All right. Anything else, Dom Rock? Because I gotta, we on the time schedule. Anything else, man?
No, that summed it up pretty well. I think it's important to realize that if you choose to interject yourself, starting with the terms, well, what about, then you're inherently detracting from the mode of the conversation. So just keep that in mind moving forward, my friend.
All right. We here to help, Brent. We are here to help. Thank you, Dom Rock. I appreciate it. Hey, man, salute to you, man. You don't think I'll be seeing all you do in the chat, and not distracting. And I appreciate it. And I'll be seeing you on here record. So salute to you, man. Peace.
Salute to you guys. Pleasure to see you.
All right. That was Dom Rock. Yo, he day one too, man. So Brent, you have 2 minutes to respond to everything that you said. What do you think about it? Do you think it's going to be helpful, or do you think April going to be timing your ass out in the future? Because like I said, I don't read the chat. Now, super chats is different because they like if you see on my side, they illuminate. I cannot miss a super chat because it's like bright as shit. But all the other chats, sometimes they just blend in. Go ahead, Brent. You got 2 minutes.
For this particular discussion with the Austin, I brought up what about because it's relevant in terms of your material. Now, I've acknowledged that because of how April, like the nature of how things are run on your channel, I have to be more respectful, and I have, and Henry, you've noticed you've noticed how I'm not in the chat as often. I wait until I speak, so to speak up on the camera. So I am taking notes as to how things are run because every YouTube channel is different, and some are more willing to have side conversations in the chat because the chat is for people to chat among the different members, and then it's a separate thing because sometimes the person doesn't even read the chat. And the chat is just something for people to have a dialogue between themselves about whatever. But this channel, it seems like it's a little bit different, and I've taken notes. And as April has noticed, I've been less present in the chat, and I've waited until I've come up. So it's very important to be respectful of how things are run on this channel, and maybe that particular situation today was an exception, but otherwise the last few I've been very respectful of it. So
I would say so. I don't see you as much, and I don't think people are complaining, but it is what it is. And you got about 15 seconds left before Francis gets to chime in. This has been productive so far, I would say. So it started off a little rocky, but productive.
And we can address what the comments otherwise because it is relevant, but I know it's going to cause some time. But yeah, we'll wait.
Time. Go ahead, Francis. You got your 2 minutes.
What comments? Okay, well,
Jesus. Brent stirring the pot.
No, of course. And let me tell you something. I'm sorry, honey. I still think you don't get it, but that's fine. The problem is...
Sorry, Francis. Mr. Monster, I see you back there. I'm going to get you your 2 minutes, too.
All right, I still think you don't get it, right? Which is fine. That's your level of how you comprehend whatever we're saying.
She's sneak dissing, but go ahead.
I'm not sneak dissing. I'm being honest. It's the truth. It's how... You might comprehend something one way, and I might comprehend it some way, another way. If you don't want to listen, or if you don't want to, just like you don't want to admit ever that Austin is wrong, that's fine. You know what I mean? Like, that's this thing. But what I'm saying is, a lot of times that I've seen, or that you come up here, you say, well, people don't want to say this, people don't want to do that. I've mellowed down because when I say my opinion, people don't want to come up. It's not about your opinion, because no one's going to get upset, at least not me, about your opinion, right? It's what you say. Okay. No. Relax, because give me my 2 minutes. It's my time. What you do is you twist words, which you have. You said earlier that what was it that he said? You shout me out, or you
I don't know. I've
I
been
don't remember
streaming
what
for
you
like
said.
6 hours. I'm cooked.
I don't know. Oh, you held me accountable. Accountable for what? That's the problem with that I have with you, and that's why I said I was never gonna be in in with you on live, because when you say you held me accountable, accountable for what? What you need to do is hold Austin accountable for what he has said and done and continues to say and do, instead of talking about what I have to. You held me accountable for what?
All
The
right,
reason why
time.
I chose. Okay.
Time. April, I believe you got 2 minutes. You ready?
Sure.
Go ahead, April.
I feel like you have this thing in your head, Brent, where you feel like I want the chat to be a certain way, where I have an agenda. You've said that before. I have an agenda, because I'm a JDF fan. I love JDF. I love Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I was a huge fan growing up. It helped me. I had a hard childhood. It was a light for me, growing up with my brother and both of us. And so I actually love all the characters. Red Ranger, all of them. Actor, maybe not so much, but I can separate the two. I can separate the character from the actor, right? But there are people in the chat, Brent, who disagree with me all the time. And I don't time them out because it's okay to disagree. We don't always have to have the same opinions. I respect other people's opinions. The problem, Brent, I think sometimes I feel like everyone's very opinionated, right? But sometimes I feel like you get stuck like in your own little way of thinking that sometimes you don't see the other person's point of view. And you kind of assume. Because I don't feel like I have an agenda. I don't know, Henry. I don't know what you think. But
I'll talk when your time is up. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I don't want. I'm sorry that you feel like I do. I love Twee as well. Just putting that out there. I'm also Vietnamese. I'm mixed, but
we need to stop this Vietnamese
so,
violence on each other.
And I just, I'm trying to respect, and so I have an agenda because I don't feel like everyone has to like JDF, but I just want everyone to be respectful, and that includes towards you. I said that, Brent. Henry can attest to this. I said that earlier in the stream. I said people need to be nicer to Brent.
She did say that shit.
And so I don't want you to think I'm timing you out just because of your opinions or whatever.
Do y'all hear the sound? Do y'all hear their alarm when it goes off?
No.
Oh, all right. Just me. Okay. All right. That was your time. That was your time. I would say April does a great job. I do like the fact that she tries to keep people on task on the topic. And I know how Brent gets when he wants to, or he's about to say, my topic is important. What about the Walter tape? What about? But Brent, you have your 2 minutes to address all this, and then we'll give 1 minute to everyone for the final word, and then we out this bitch. All right.
So if my disagreement is about what is said during the stream, then that's fair game, right? Even if you don't like the opinion, if it's antagonistic, if let's say we're talking about Sky Frank, for example, and I say that, she needs to get, I think they're real, and someone says no, they're not real, and I say, I think she should get authenticated, and someone says I don't think it should get authenticated, and we have this back and forth, and we're causing a huge argument over what is said on the stream. Is that a fair conversation to have, or am I going to get timed out because you don't like the back and forth that's happening about what is discussed during the stream?
No, if that's what they're talking about during the stream,
great answer.
You out for that, Brent?
Right.
Great answer. Because that's what I was gonna say. Like, if I'm talking about if they're real or fake, go ahead, have at it. But if I'm reading MMPR and you're
then you're reading it, I don't think I'm there anymore. I think I tuned it out. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't think I'm there.
The point I'm trying to make is when the topic change, the conversation should change too. It should start. Winding down.
Because sometimes I don't watch. It's hard to. Sometimes you're doing the chat and then you don't. You watch the video and then you're on the chat and then you don't see the topic change. So maybe.
All right.
Maybe that's my fault. Maybe I have to take some responsibility for not focusing on both, because you call people out for focusing on the chat too much. So maybe that's
yes. If you're on camera, you shouldn't be looking at the chat. And we got to
Right.
bring up Mr. Monster for his 2 minutes. So, Mr. Monster, you've been watching. You part of this intervention. You got 2 minutes. Start
Intervention,
in
oh my
now. Go.
Well, you guys already done cooked Brent, overcooked him, simultaneously cooking yourselves slowly, as in like you guys are not 6 hours now on a stream.
6 hours.
Yeah, you guys are almost 6 hours. It's like you guys are crazy, but honestly, as far as the comment section go, I am one of the people who if I'm not just listening to it like a podcast, I'll just sit it with the video on here. So I'm never even looking at the chat, so I feel bad that like there's an entire war going on sometimes, and not really a war. I shouldn't say a war. They're more like earlier days, back when nobody knew actually all the stuff with JDF completely yet, or and all the information was at. People were always going crazy in the comment section, but I'll say this, Brent. You can't. I mean, you could like if it Red Rangers you like, Austin Jane John. That's you like. I can't knock anybody for what they like. And I'm not even at this point. ASJ, he did his thing. He'll continue to do his thing, and it's nothing bad either. I mean, I don't even want to ramble because like I said, I have him as my centerpiece, and I don't know if I'm still going to change Rocky over yet. But basically, man, you gotta hold sometimes your favorite people. You gotta hold them accountable. And I love Naked Gun, but you gotta hold some people accountable sometimes. And
Like,
it's sometimes famous people. And I'm not even saying ASJ has done anything until he's convicted, but the t-shirt thing, he should have just said, no, I'm not making a hit list shirt. Quit asking me. I made a comment on a video, blah, blah, blah. I just kind of rambled. He could have said something easily like that, but he'd be avoiding the question like it's the plague, like he's Boo and Goku Super Saiyan 3 is trying to attack him and Boo's just going like ASJ is just not gonna say no, I'm not gonna make a Hitler shirt. And I think look it, I'm not gonna put you on the bench. Everyone already did.
all right.
The biggest thing is I know you don't hate JDF. You can't hate the Green Ranger. Wait, I pressed the wrong button.
All right, thank you, Mr. Monster. I appreciate that. All right. He exited on his own, man. Mr. Monster, classy guy. He watches the stream while he's at work, and then he chimes in on the way off. And we've been streaming way too long when he joins the goddamn stream. Okay,
Definitely.
so. Any last words? Oh yeah, Brent, you wanted to stir the pot with some words. You said you about to stir the pot.
Oh yes.
Hold on, let me put the timer on.
Get your money.
All right, so this for the stir the pot session, we're gonna do 1 minute. Okay, you got 1 minute to make your point per se. Okay, you think you can do that? 60 seconds.
Sure.
Hold on. Let me get the timer ready. All right, and go.
So on the stream, you mentioned about ASJ and the blocking of JDF. I never said that what JDF doing was wrong. If I was in his position, I would probably do the same thing because it's family. But at the same time, you're blocking. JDF is asking a fan to take down a post. That could have informed other people like possibly Chanzo and people who bought those autographs. They could have informed them about their decision making, but JDF, by asking that fan to take down the post, they don't have that knowledge, and now they went into Jacob Frank buying from him without having that knowledge because JDF convinced that fan to take it down by doing a favor, and there's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, he asked the fan to do that, whereas ASJ is taking out his own post on his own page. JDF is asking a fan to take down a post that's not even his. So that is they're not the same. In fact, what JDF is doing is not right because the fans deserve to know.
Okay, time.
How do you not? But
All
I
right.
understand.
Okay. Hold on. I know y'all are triggered, and to Brent to play devil's advocate and to regurgitate what Brent said by JDF asking fans to remove their post after they get, which I would imagine is compensation,
Right.
from JDF. By them removing the post, there's no proof that Sky and Jacob scammed people in the past because Daddy made it right. And your argument is that ASJ is removing people's posts entirely, right?
Right. He's removing. Of course, they're both removing. They're trying to remove what they perceive to be negative posts. And let me be very clear. There's nothing wrong with what JDF did. As a father, you're trying to protect your kids, and there's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, you made the comparison between the two. You brought it up, so yeah, there's a comparison to be made. In fact, what JDF did.
Time.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Go ahead. You got 1 minute, April. Go ahead.
But the problem though is you're assuming. Okay, your point is they need to stay up to help warn other fans so they don't fall for it too, right? But you're assuming you have to remember that JDF was a father, and we don't know what happened behind scenes. For all we know, he probably went back and lectured these two kids and said, "Don't you ever do this again."
Right.
You know what I mean? So he probably was holding faith that this isn't going to happen again, and I don't need this evidence making you kids look bad.
That's it.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
It's Francis' turn because she was behind this shit. She got intimate knowledge. Brent's argument is dangerous. People are getting scammed because JDF did it. I would say, just on the outside looking in, the fans who were scammed got compensated. If I go on ASJ's profile right now and say, "Hey, why did you say Hitler had good one-liners?" My shit gets removed, and what that's doing is erasing the fact that he said it. But go ahead, Francis. Go. 1 minute.
Okay. First of all, you're saying like, oh, JDF went and had these people have their posts removed. But
That's the
Austin
fans
is
to remove
removing.
it. Yeah.
Yes, Austin is deleting comments on his post. That on his post, Jason would only know if his kids would scam fans if they wrote on his fan page. So technically, he's asking. That's the difference. Austin is just deleting and blocking people for saying their opinion, their antagonistic opinion, just like you do. To here, he is just deleting and not giving a chance to anyone to be like, "Hey, what you're doing is wrong." Jason would go on his page that people would write, "Hey, Jacob Frank, Sky Frank, whatever. And he was like, "Hey, listen," he will compensate them. And he was like, "Can you please delete it off my page?" His page. He asked the fans. He gave the fans the option. Austin is not giving people the option. He's just blocking, deleting, and acting like he never did anything. That's worse. Acting ignorant like you didn't do something is worse than actually doing something to rectify the issue and having people have the choice to delete it or not.
But the thing is,
Time.
Francis.
Okay. Okay, Brent.
Okay.
You're going to have 1 minute to respond to it. Now, I do think this may be a agree or disagree because of
Absolutely.
Yes, baby.
Brent's.
Okay, so
Go ahead, Brent.
Okay, so I've been on this channel and I've said I've disagreed with what Austin is doing. It's irresponsible. So I've called out Austin's response on this channel. So there's no hypocrisy there. In terms of JDF was not the one doing the scamming. It was his children. They're not the same people. So if it was JDF doing the scamming, which he wasn't, let me be very clear, and he made it right, then the fan was no longer scammed. So it makes sense. It makes perfect sense. But it was his children that did it, and JDF is the one that made it right, which as a father, I totally understand that he would do that. But it was his children. That didn't change the fact that the fan thought that the children scammed them. So maybe the better idea would have been to keep the post up and then JDF would bring his children aside and give them a lecture about what they're doing, and to have an apology for their behavior, not to ask the fan to remove it. Whether he does it by himself or he's asking for it, it doesn't seem right. But what JDF did by rectifying the situation is great. So we'll just leave it at that.
That's more than Austin did.
True, but yeah, true. And I don't disagree with that at all. But the thing is, like, just because Austin is bad does not make JDF better.
Why are you always so against JDF? Just because it doesn't make JDF better. I'm tired of that.
wait.
No,
Okay,
because
hold on, Brent.
Henry brought it up.
This is how you can look, guys. Let this be a learning moment, right? He just admitted JDF rectified the situation with the fan.
But
Austin St. John offers no rectifying whatsoever. You can't. He says
they weren't scammed. The fans weren't scammed of money. They didn't even, the shirt wasn't even came out yet.
Exactly.
There's no product.
Comparing those two things, then you're admitting it right now that there's a difference. So why are you comparing it?
We're talking about the deleting the comments and the posts.
But
That's the issue.
Well, I think it's a difference, right? Because Austin is deleting them, where fans are saying, "Well, thank you, JDF, for making it right. I'll honor your request." Where also, when JDF can easily delete and block them, he can easily do the ASJ route, right? He could easily go that route.
And you can say, "Oh, well, those are kids. They're different. They're not JDF. They're separate people." But those are his children.
Okay.
I'll do anything to protect my kids. I would have done the same thing as Jason.
Well, I don't know about that. She makes him watch K-pop, so we gotta take her what she'll do to protect her kids a little lighter.
And Brent, it's the situation's different one, right?
You got
say,
1 minute, Francis. Go ahead.
You say, well, Austin isn't scamming, or Austin's kids, or Austin isn't scamming the fans. No, but he's also doing and saying things that, let's say, let's use Jason as a Jason Influence Films as an example. How would you feel if you are supporting someone that is saying they're going to put a mass murderer like Hitler, who killed many Jewish people, on a shirt? I wouldn't want to support that. Would you want to support someone that a dictator that killed your people, your race, you wouldn't want that. So yes, he's actually doing worse, because he's trying to wipe down issues that are just misleading fans as well. So he's doing the same thing, just in a different aspect. Jason at least tried to rectify the issue with the fan and gave them the option. If the fan didn't delete it, it would stay on the page. It would keep on the page.
Time.
Yes.
Well, guys, I really don't think y'all gonna get through to Brent. He's gonna say that he should have never asked the fan to delete the post. He should have deleted and blocked it. And despite
That's not what I said, Henry. Come on.
Despite JDF making the situation right and Austin not doing anything other than deleting and blocking, JDF is not better than ASJ. JDF is not better than ASJ, even though he made the fans whole. And the difference is they didn't get scammed. Now, what if you're a Jewish fan thinking you're a fan of ASJ and he has no ties to Hitler, only for him to go on the goddamn podcast and say Hitler had great one-liners? Now you can say, hey, he's not a Hitler sympathizer or anything like that. But as a Jewish fan, I would feel some type of way. No different than him saying, hey, Jim Crow had some good one-liners. We need to make some Jim Crow t-shirts. I would be like, what the hell is this? But
that's not what he said, Henry. What he said was Hitler was a demon on steroids, but he had some good one-liners.
But he also said he was a warrior. Because he
wanted to create a warrior line of good and bad warriors. And unfortunately, there's a nuance here. And
oh my god.
Okay, fine. If you don't want to discuss the nuance, then we'll just end it here then.
All right.
Talk.
You still got 30 seconds, man.
Okay. There's a nuance because Hitler did have good quotes to advance a propaganda machine that was genocidal. That's just historical fact. There's books about talking about the essential speeches of Adolf Hitler, and education professors do not have exclusive rights to education. You might think Austin's idea is terrible, which I believe it is, but he has every right to want to educate as much as a professor, even though I think a professor does a much better job.
He never mentioned education.
It doesn't matter, Francis, whether you mention
It does matter.
The problem
No,
What
it
do you
does
think?
not.
Okay, all right.
matter.
Hold on. April first, then Francis. Go ahead, April. You got 1 minute.
problem here is you're so quick to like make excuses and give benefit of the doubt. But if JDF had done this exact same thing, you'd be crucifying him.
No, I would not,
Yes, you would.
because
I'm not gonna say, oh, I would not.
because it.
April, still, you got 42 seconds left,
Okay, go ahead.
and then we'll get Francis.
And he'll find a reason to ping something back to JDF to prove JDF is still a bad guy. And he's not even alive to defend himself. What's the point? I don't get it. I don't get why he hates JDF that much.
Is that why I get blocked? Or?
Dude, if you're so
Look.
rude to because earlier I literally said, Brent, that it distracts from the chat, and you didn't hear what I said, but you heard the other guy say it and you listened to it.
Maybe he hates women.
And
Wow, Henry, come on now, come on. Oh, you're lucky.
All right, it's
Oh my
Francis's
God,
turn.
Oh man.
I really don't think anything I say or anyone says is gonna get to Brent. And you do crucify Jason.
Oh, I
If
do.
there's anything positive, you crucify him, even when he's doing something positive. But you don't use that same energy on Austin. You don't use that same energy on Walter. You don't do that same energy on anyone else.
Because
And wait, I'm not done. Don't
Guys,
interrupt
let
me.
her
And
talk.
that's why I have an issue with you. And I do not feel like I need to, this is probably gonna be I don't need to be in a conversation with you. It's not because you have an antagonistic opinion or you bring out, you basically said completely turned everything that I said about the Tui story, but yet you till this day have no issue with the fact that Austin said he rubbed his penis on her ass. And I don't care what you
Never
say.
said
I don't
that,
care. He did say it.
Francis.
He didn't
Bring
say
the
it directly.
quote. How dare you
He
say
said it.
that? Oh my
How
God.
dare you say that? I
That's what he
twist my
Okay,
words.
all
You
right.
You twisted
say
my
that.
words.
Do not
He
say
said
that.
But that's
he
what
did not. He did. He did not say it out in the open because, of course, he's not going to get. He didn't want that. But I'm pretty sure, like they say, if you go to Tui's family and play that clip where he said that, they will be offended because I am not even family with Tui, and she's gone, and I was offended. I was like, what is he talking about? She's not even here. So it's one thing for you to crucify Jason for anything, but you will not even an ounce. You love Tui supposedly, and you don't see anything bad with that because he didn't openly say I rub my penis. He basically inferred it. So it doesn't matter if he didn't say it openly. He inferred it, and
Okay.
that's just as bad.
Okay, April, you got 1 minute. Brent has been muted because for obvious reasons. Go ahead, and we'll get a question for Brent. Came via super chat. Go ahead, April. You got 1 minute.
I agree with Francis. She's 100% correct. He literally crucified JDF for just saying, using the word embarrassed with Twee at a restaurant. Got super upset about it. Was super emotional about it. There's videos, Brent. There's videos showing you. But then we show a clip of Austin St. John talking about Twee. I don't know what else you can infer. He didn't use those exact words. You're correct. He didn't use those exact words, Brent. But that's what he meant when he said, I don't know how you could come up with any other interpretation from what he said. I watched the video like 3 times just to see, well, maybe Brent, because I'm open-minded. I'm like, well, maybe Brent has, maybe let's see maybe Brent could have interpreted it differently. No, there's no other way to interpret what ASJ said. I don't get how it's okay for ASJ to talk about Twee that way. And you're like, oh, whatever. But then JDF gets crucified for trying to be a good friend.
Okay. Brent, you have 1 minute.
Oh, I'm unmuted. Okay. So what actually was said was he had an uncontrolled reaction. That's what was said. And
So what does
Francis
that-
said that Twee rubbed his penis. That's not what happened.
No, what does
There's
that uncontrolled reaction mean? What does that mean?
But Francis said that Twee rubbed. Austin said that. I have the picture, the proof. That's not what happened.
Okay, so what does that mean though? An uncontrolled reaction. What is that?
You really want to? Okay, that's the
Oh, okay.
uncontrolled reaction. And
Auden, what's that mean?
an erection.
Okay, so he did say that. He did insinuate it.
He insinuated, yes. But the thing is, this has happened in. This happens in the.
Time.
Okay.
Look, man, we going in circles, but yeah, he did talk about it. Brent, one last question: can you scam someone by misleading them, Brent? This is a super chat from Dim Rock.
Scam them by misleading them?
Yeah.
For what? Scam them for money or what?
Sure. It's just a yes or no.
What is this? Why is it a yes or no, Henry? Scam some by misleading them. What is?
Yeah.
It's a possibility. I don't know.
If I say I love Vietnamese people, right? And then you find out, I say, hey, come over to my house for dinner. And then you find out I've really been poisoning Vietnamese people and I hate them. Would you feel like you got scammed? If I misled you to believe I loved you and then turns out I didn't and I was secretly trying to destroy you, would that be a scam?
Destroy me? So you said that you love Vietnamese people and then you
are secretly chopping them up?
He's trying to waffle and not answer the question.
I
know it's so.
I know you.
You're talking about his ex right now. Anyway, it's just Francis. I believe you're next for your 1 minute. And look, guys, we got to really clamp this down in like 8 minutes. Go ahead, Francis.
I don't even know what to say to him because I think I'm part of Jason, so anything I say he just flips and makes me the bad guy. I didn't say Twee rubbed. I said he rubbed his penis on her, or he would get close. He got an erection. He inferred to get an erection. You just admitted right now that he inferred that he got an erection by touching her. How is that?
He didn't touch her. No.
Listen, it's my time.
It's her time.
How is it that that's not to you as a man, as someone that loves Twee, who respects Twee? How do you not see that as worse than saying, "Oh my God, she wait, baby, she waited on me and I felt embarrassed"? How?
You have to look at the relationship as friends.
Okay, time.
On off the show. And
hold on, Brent.
This erection thing has come up in the entertainment industry repeatedly.
I said, hold on, Brent. I had to mute him. He got muted. All right, we gotta have a little bit of order. All right, all right, Brent. Are you ready for your minute? All right, go.
So this erection thing, if we're gonna have this discussion, has happened multiple times in the entertainment industry, not just with Austin.
No,
Henry Cavill, Ewan McGregor. Henry's gonna do this nonsense thing because
this is
he's trying to because we're talking about multiple examples of this in the entertainment industry where people have uncontrolled reactions.
Crucified JDF for the waitress story and not ASJ for talking about Twee like that. That's disrespectful.
But the relation that they had, if Twee felt disrespected, she wouldn't have hung out with him.
Twee was not alive when he told that story.
But she was alive when it happened, and AJ said that she saw it. she pretended that she didn't notice. So
Well,
Wait,
that's
how does Austin?
pathological liar, so we don't.
Okay. All right, guys. I really think we've made some progress on not getting Brent banned, but
It's still not a question.
so let me answer this.
we can't force him to answer
Okay,
questions,
so
guys.
okay, then
if look,
let me okay, fine.
Go ahead, Brent. You got 1 minute.
Okay, so this erection thing, it's happened in the entertainment industry. Henry Cavill, he had an erection, and it's kind of like it's something I don't agree with. And he talked about the woman and her breasts and stuff. It's not, I don't like it, but you have to look at the context of the relationship that he has with the person. And I know I don't like it. I don't like that he said it, but if Twee felt uncomfortable, she wouldn't have hung out with him. And I feel like leave it at that. I mean, I don't like it, but if she felt comfortable with it, then the fact you guys claim that Twee rubbed his penis, that's not what happened. That's not the story that
No,
he told.
it's
Twee doesn't have a penis.
I was just about to say that. Oh man, Brent, you are wild. You are wild. And someone said,
let's say Twee was
time.
wildly offended. Let's say that it was absolutely
All right, Brent, your time was up. Someone said, just stop. Why would I want to learn from a high school dropout? I got teachers or professors to teach me, not the reject person. Oh my goodness. All right, so whose turn is it? Because I think we're approaching. Is it yours, Francis, or is it April's?
I don't know. Francis, I think it's Francis.
It's Francis.
Well, my son's awake, so I'm done with the argument. There's no help for Brent. Brent is just gonna be stick to his ways. To him, I mean, if my relative is passed on and you're talking about getting a possible or talking about an erection on someone that's passed on, because just like JDS story, which watch it baby, was after she passed. That story he told after she passed. So we don't know if one, she would be comfortable with the world knowing that he got a hard on because of the things that he said. He said in the video she did purposely, right? So we don't know that. We don't know if her family that's alive got offended by it. But yet you huffed and puffed and got so livid, and you went to Austin and told him that I said that Jason said that he felt, uncomfortable. Come on. If you really agree with that, if you really think that Jason's story, that my story that I told Jason is worse than him getting an erection and talking about how she did it purposely, you need to really assess, evaluate your life. Okay, that's all I gotta say. Bye.
Okay. All right. That was Francis. Now I gotta bring on this person, Pyrabelle. Where the hell yo ass been at? Can you hear me? I'm gonna remove Francis and bring up Pyrabelle. How are you?
Hi, Henry.
How have you been? You've been in my emails. What do you have? I'll give you the same timer I give everyone. You get 1 minute to speak your piece.
Hold on.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
I have an echo.
Okay, because you got to mute the stream.
Okay.
And she muted herself.
I don't know how to use this.
All right, just talk for 1 minute. Go ahead. Say everything you want to say. Okay. All right. Is it Brent's turn?
No.
Oh, you like, no, it's not. Okay. All right. April's like, she got time today. All right, go ahead, April. Speak. Talk.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Number one, ASJ is a known pathological liar. We don't even know if that story is true. And we don't even know if it happened the way he's saying it happened. Number two, again, just like Francis said, how is that you're trying to okay it by saying, well, that's just common in Hollywood. That happens with all these other people too. Okay, and we're just not talking about that. We're talking about JD, the comparison of JDF and how you got so emotional about it because you felt like that was offensive for Twee when he's supposed to be a friend. How could a friend talk about someone like that or think about someone like that? Because you're supposed to be friends, right? But it's okay for ASJ to talk about Twee like that during a memorial, a remembrance of her.
It wasn't a remembrance too. It
That's
was.
just like,
Laura,
who
I
does?
see you back there. You're gonna get your minute, girl.
I want to know, Brent, if JDF, be honest too, be 100% honest. If JDF had told that story, wouldn't you have been offended by JDF saying that about Twee?
100%. 100%. He would never. Has Brent ever defended JDF in
Mm-mm.
over a year?
Nope.
All right. That
And
should
do I
answer your
have
question.
to? Do I have to have the position? Do I have to defend JDF?
No.
Right. So why is that an issue? Why do people have to have a Instagram post memorializing him on the 1 anniversary? Why do people can have their different opinions? So if you're gonna criticize me for not having defending JDF, why is that an issue? It shouldn't. Why is that a criticism?
It's a as ASJ would say it. It's a known fact, right?
Right. So why keep repeating it then?
Repeat what? That was my first time mentioning it.
So you guys keep saying that. Oh, if JDF did, you don't defend JDF. You never defended him. Yeah. Well, except with the Zach Taylor McGinnis thing, but that's another. I've taken a stance on that. I mean, if you want to count that, but other than that, no.
Okay, Brent, so I on that Reddit post that you made about JDF and about how talking shit about him, and then other people coming up and saying, hey, I didn't like JDF, but what you're saying is not okay. Not the right time, dude. He just passed on.
My Reddit post. I don't remember.
April, I'll be honest. Time. I'm sure Brent has many Reddit posts making not so nice comments.
I've been on Reddit many times. I don't remember these things.
Exactly. So it's not just one off. That's exactly when you say Reddit post. I was like, April, it's too much out there. It's too much. All right, let me bring up Laura. Give her 1 minute. Francis may be back. Let's give Laura her 1 minute, and she wants her 1 minute with Francis up there. So let's bring up Francis, and we're gonna bring up Laura, so Laura can get her 1 minute. Go ahead, Laura. You got 1 minute. Go.
Hi, Brent. I just have a question.
Okay.
Why is it that you hate Jason so much? I guess I don't get it. Especially he's gone. He's not here to defend himself. He's not here to... I mean, he would never speak those things about anyone. And yet, you sit here and you like they said, you crucify him for absolutely no reason. It's hurtful. It's hurtful for his fans. It's hurtful for his family. It's hurtful for the people that love and cherish him and miss him. And yet you're here and you crucify him for no reason. He's never done anything wrong to you. And yet you sit here and you go on and on and on. And I just don't get it. Can you answer me that?
All right, time. Thank you, Laura. I'm gonna leave you up. Whose turn is it to talk? Is it Francis, then Brent, or is it Brent?
Francis.
Mommy?
Thank you, Laura. I think that this is kind of like something that he should realize, right? Jason's not here. We keep telling him there's no way to defend. Only we're gonna defend him. He's not gonna defend himself. But it is, and he said, why should you don't have to defend Jason. No one's telling you to defend Jason. Henry said, when has Brent ever defended him? And you haven't. That's true. It's not like, oh, you should defend him. That's not it. You don't have to defend him, but you don't also have to crucify him. Mm-hmm. And then you get upset and you want to come and right wrongs of Austin when Austin has really done some messed up things to fans currently. The Hitler shirts, the thing with Tui, who you say you love, but then he's talking about all this stuff on someone's memorial. Oh my God. If that was my sister, and during a memorial post for her, you're talking about how you got an erection due to her. Never,
All right.
ever.
Let's let Brent get his last minute.
Okay.
And I'm gonna drop you down, Laura. Thank you for coming up. Don't get too emotional now, all right? All right. All right. So Brent, this is your final minute.
Okay.
Make it count.
Why crucify him? It was because of okay. We're gonna talk about a situation where JDF and Walter, the thing with the free the Francis claims that Walter got rough with JDF because Laura asked the question, so I have to answer it. It started with that, and then JDF says like he says rude stuff like, "Oh, I'm so out of shape. I would never be like that." I mean, stuff like that. That's why he gets crucified, and that's a strong word, but that's just an opinion, and people are allowed to have strong opinions whether you like them or not. And I know, and I never claimed that I was a JDF supporter, so it's not like I'm dishonest. I've been from the beginning very critical of him. So that is why, and the history does not change when someone passes. His legacy will live on, the good and the bad of what people perceive about him. So whether he's dead or alive, his legacy lives on.
All right. Thank you, Brent. Have a nice night. We appreciate
bye-bye.
all
Thank
your
you.
contributions, man.
All right, bye-bye.
I mean, I may not agree with you, but I still let you speak your piece. So,
Yeah, but
Okay.
you,
All right. Thank you.
all right. All right. He's gone. So everyone, now that he's gone, we have, I think everyone can get 1 minute and 30 seconds now, including Axial if he wants one. Okay. All right. So who wants to go next? Who wants to go last?
I just go real fast. So it's just, but his hatred for him is so weird. It's like I don't go on pro ASJ YouTube accounts and talk shit about ASJ. You know what I mean? I'm not sitting there. I don't care.
This
Like,
is
who
his
cares?
outlet, guys. And someone said something about Brent not being able to read the room. That is 100% Brent. He has no ability to read the room.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just from my limited interactions. I'll be like, bro. But, you know, Brent is Brent. And when you know that he has no ability to read the room, then you can kind of probably give him a little bit more understanding.
But he lied. He said that when he said, I'm going to answer Laura's question, it started with the Walter and the JDF dish. No, no, it didn't. You've hated him for years.
Yeah, he didn't even know about that story when he first came on the channel because it came in really late. So good catch, April. Caught his ass. Info K.
Yep.
This has been great. We need to get more April up here. You know what I'm saying? we need like, hey Chris, about 2 times a month, I'm gonna need your wife. He gonna be like, what? I'm like, not for that. Just so she could talk. You know what I'm saying? So I actually like it. It gives me a break because I can just be like, I can doze off and shit, and I can read chat actually. So it's good. So thank you, April. Nothing else to add?
No, that was it.
All right, you've been phenomenal. If you start a YouTube channel, you can clip this shit, put it on there.
Okay.
All right. See you, April. Have a nice night at 1:38 in the morning. All right, Francis, 2:38 in the morning for your ass.
Yes, 2:38, and Axel just woke up.
And
so
he
it's gonna be a
just
long
woke
night.
up, so he about to turn up. Someone said, great
Yes.
stream, Henry and Panel. Goddamn, Nikita Person, you've been here for goddamn 6 hours, 37 minutes, and 58 seconds. God
Yes.
damn, what a stream, boy. Talking Power Rangers. Where y'all gonna get this type of content anywhere else?
Never. That's why people hate you. You're a hate monger.
Oh,
Because they won't
God.
get it anywhere else.
You can never get talk about Power Rangers for this long. So what did you want to say? Brent is Brent. I don't know why
Brent is Brent.
y'all try
And
to have an
Brent is
intervention.
there's no amount of intervention that's ever gonna get to Brent. I agree with April. He's using the Walter situation, which was maybe a 1 minute quick blurb that I brought up that he didn't know, that he probably would have never known unless I came on this channel. But it's clear that he's had that hatred towards Jason prior to even being on your channel, because it's on Reddit and it's on everywhere, and he's constantly going on every post and every video mentioning Jason. It's kind of sad on his part. I'm not even gonna. It's not even worth arguing, because it's like he'll have a response that's so weak.
You do be
And I
weak.
and
Just be
and
like,
and and he could say that I make fun of him, whatever. You're weak, Brent. Your answers are weak. What you respond is weak because you're waffling so much to protect someone that, if the tables were turned, would throw you under the bus in a second, because all you are to him is money, and that's it. So he's over here, Jason this and Jason is not good. It doesn't matter. Jason's not here. Yet Austin is here and he has the chance. He's blessed. He could continue to do good things for his fans, but he keeps fucking up over and over and over. And you keep defending him. And even to the point that yes, baby. In my opinion, what he's doing, defending Austin's whole erection story, it's kind of a slap in the face to Tui. And he could take it like he wants it. He could take what I said like he wants, since he loves to twist my words. Him defending Austin's memorial video. If Austin was proud of that video would have still been up. Why did
Exactly.
he delete it? Why did he snip it? Because he knows it's a disrespectful thing to mention in a memorial to someone that's no longer here. So yes, keep defending Austin and keep shitting on Tui's memory by saying it's okay for him to mention getting an erection from her at a memorial video. That he should really evaluate that, because that's the problem. It's not Jason saying he felt embarrassed because she waited on him. It's not that. It's not that. What's embarrassing is Austin saying he got an erection from her, and what's embarrassing is that supposedly someone that is Vietnamese and love Tui and is all pro Tui and supposedly doesn't like Jason because he talked bad about Tui or he didn't defend her during the strike or whatever he feels. He should really be mad at Austin for saying that thing for someone that passed away in her memorial video. So much so that he was so embarrassed that he deleted it.
That's a truthful statement.
If you're not embarrassed about something, if you don't think something's wrong, that video should have still been up. But he knew
we got
that
a
he
big
done
dog in
fucked
the
up,
back.
so he deleted it. That's all I gotta say.
All right, thank you, Francis. Make sure you
Henry,
get
let's
some...
go to bed. Come on, Henry, go to bed.
I got a big dog in the back. I can't.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
Big dog. When the big dog hit
All
the
right.
chat, I gotta do what the
Oh
big
no,
dog
no.
say.
Do the big dog and then let's go to bed. Bye.
All right. See you. Yeah. All right, guys.